All right, welcome back. Quarantine Conversation, Episode 3, joined now by a very special guest, brand new Gamecock commit. It is Bryce Steele, who committed over North Carolina and Texas on Saturday. Bryce, thanks for joining us, man. Thanks for taking some time. How does it feel just knowing that you got the big decision out of the way? Now you can relax, maybe concentrate on some other things and not have to worry about recruiting, man?
It feels awesome. It feels like a heavy weight was lifted off my shoulder. It's been weighing on me to commit, for the past 3 to 4 months. So now that it's finally over with, I can just focus on getting ready for my upcoming senior season and just really balling out this upcoming season. So I'm excited.
How hard was it when it became time to actually, you narrowed it down to the 3? You had 3 really good programs. You really probably couldn't go wrong with any of them. But how hard was it as you sat down? I don't know, maybe who you talked to, your family, your coaches, but as you sort of went through the final decision, what was your process and how hard was it to actually pick one,
It was difficult. For the past, I want to say, actually throughout my whole recruiting process, I've been, praying to God, asking him to help me make the right decision for me. And next after that, of course, I asked my family, mom and dad, what their opinions were, and then coaches, of course, as well, as to where they think I should fit or where they think, I best fit. But I mean, I picked UNC because I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina. Chapel Hill is 20, 30 minutes away from me. So, just having the opportunity to play in my home state in front of, close friends and family was really appealing to me. I chose Texas because, Coach Hutzler, he was at South Carolina, left South Carolina, became the defense coordinator at Texas. Over the years I've had the opportunity to build a great relationship with him. So those are really my ties with Texas, was through him, of course. But I mean, ultimately, the past couple of weeks, Coach Krantz, Coach Muschamp, and Coach T-Rob have done, and Coach Wilson as well, have done an absolute amazing job helping me solidify, my final decision of coming to South Carolina.
Obviously, I think everybody in the fan base sort of knows a good bit about Coach Muschamp, and Coach Krantz has been there a while, but you getting to know Coach Rod Wilson, he's sort of one of the newer guys on the staff. What about him sort of led you to be able to get comfortable with him, and what did you think just sort of getting to know him maybe the last couple of months?
Right. So I was actually able to visit South Carolina. I want to say it was March 6th, around that day, March 6th or 7th, which was my first time meeting Coach Wilson, of course. Coach Krantz and Coach Muschamp had nothing but good things to say about him prior to my visit that day. So finally, when I got the chance to meet him, I could see everything that, Coach Muschamp and Coach Krantz were talking about, just talking about how personable of a coach he is, how knowledgeable of the game that he is. And he's very, very, family oriented, which is really important to my family, of course. So, it was really, he helped, my decision a lot. For the past couple months, me and him have been, building a really good relationship, texting, if not every day, almost every day, just, making short conversation, talking about football, food, anything, really just to talk and just start building that relationship. So, I'm excited to get to work with him for the next couple of years. I hope that answers your question.
No, definitely. So after you committed on Saturday, did y'all have any big plans? Did you do anything to celebrate? What'd you and the family do with the big day, I guess?
Well, actually, so when I did my Rivals interview, it was set to come out at 1:00, and I was actually mid-workout when it was released. So I had to, finish my last rep and then run over to my phone and then retweet it out and then get back to the field, get back to my workout and everything like that. So I wasn't really able to – I didn't finish my workout till about 2:30. So I really wasn't able to, take incoming calls or text messages from, coaches, congratulating me or just welcoming me to the Gamecock family. So, I mean, we didn't really get to celebrate due to the, quarantine and everything like that. But, just being able to come home and having, like I said, that weight lifted off my shoulder was just amazing. My entire family was excited. I was receiving endless phone calls from friends, family, and even some other coaches congratulating me, so.
Yeah, so I'm always curious about that. Between the DMs, the texts, the phone calls, when something like that happens, how I mean, I gotta imagine your phone. You're trying to get your workout, your phone's just blowing up. Do you remember how many notifications you had on when you committed?
Let's see. You want every like Snapchat and everything?
Yeah, yeah,
So Snapchat, I probably had around like 150. Text messages, I had around same thing, around 150. Twitter and Instagram was those are most popular, of course. Because especially on Twitter because of the video, especially, and then on when I finally was able to post the picture, like my little commitment edit that South Carolina made me, when I finally was able to post that, that gained a lot of attention on Instagram. So I mean, it felt nice. Having a lot of my friends and family congratulate me on making what could possibly be the biggest decision of my life, really. So, you know,
definitely, definitely. But hey, so you still got your workout in though that day,
you say
which is important. Have you been able to still? I know guys have talked about. Obviously, you don't have team workouts and stuff like that right now. But have you still been able to get your workouts in? What have you been doing considering the quarantine and all that, just to make sure you're able to stay in shape?
right. So, I'm on a 3 day a week lifting schedule. So Monday, Wednesday, Fridays when I lift, and then I lift in the mornings and afternoons I go out and run.
Mhm.
And then on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, in the mornings I get it before class, 7:30 a.m. And me and my teammate from Episcopal, who also comes from the Raleigh area, we get up and go, work on position specific drills, safety linebacker movements with our trainer in the mornings, and then in the afternoons, so Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, we get up and run again for conditioning and like that. So I mean, I've been able to. The pandemic hasn't really limited my workout regimen at all. Actually, I think me being home from a little weight, of course,
Mhm.
eating good home food. I know the quarantine. A lot of people are kind of upset about it, but you gotta look at the positives throughout everything. And I think one positive is me being home, me being surrounded by my family throughout these tough times, and me being able to commit and then come home and see my family. Because originally I'm supposed to be still at boarding school right now, so I would have had to commit 4.5 hours away from them. So like I said, you gotta look at the positive outcomes of everything.
Definitely, and you mentioned linebacker safety. I got to be honest, man. I saw you at South Carolina's camp last summer. Saw you running around. I was like, this guy's a DB, and I know you've put on muscle. I think at some point in the recruiting process, early on, it was maybe, all right, is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? It seems like over time, the conversation has turned towards, you're an athletic linebacker type. Maybe take us back to how much of your career have you, been playing at DB? How much of your career have you sort of started to be more of a linebacker? I watched your film from your sophomore year. It looked like, sometimes you're lining up over the slot, sometimes you're inside the box. How's your role maybe changed as you've sort of developed as a player?
Well, actually, my freshman year, I thought I was a wide receiver. So, that was my primary position. And so it wasn't until later that season, actually right before the season started, where my coach actually, switched me to DB, and that's where I fell in love with being on the defensive side of the ball. Um, my freshman year, I was only about 175, so I was playing corner. I gradually got bigger, got moved back to free safety, strong safety, and a lot of schools started looking at me as a fast linebacker.
Mhm.
And I was like I don't know if I want to play linebacker in college. But I love to hit. I can cover as well. So you see a lot of schools kind of love that. Like different, like how I can guard in the slot and also play in the box, and I can also blitz off the edge pretty well as well. So a lot of schools love that. That's only to my coaches at Episcopal who have helped develop my skill set, throughout the years. So I'm just thankful for them, really.
So, do you think I'd imagine that playing some safety, even playing receiver out on the edge, some of the ball skills you had to have to do that, that maybe gives you, do you think that gives you a little bit of an edge as you have moved to linebacker, just having that experience playing in coverage and playing in space and stuff like that?
Yes, sir. I mean, one thing that I do right now, like I mentioned, how I get up in the mornings and do positional stuff. Like all my workouts is safety, like DB oriented,
Mhm.
because if I can move well as a defensive back, linebacker movements will just come like this to me. As far as lateral movements, stuff like that. So I've been training. I'm gonna continue to be training as a safety rather than a linebacker, so that whenever I do get to collegiate level, the linebacker movements come fluent to me.
So I guess as far as South Carolina is concerned, what has the conversation been like as far as how they see you fitting into their scheme? I know they have kind of a versatile scheme. They move guys around. What were those conversations like?
So South Carolina is when I get to South Carolina, I'll be playing Will and Don as well. Coach. When I was able to catch a practice, one spring practice before everything shut down. I was able to go and watch Coach Muschamp because he's working with the linebackers right now, and along with Coach Wilson as well. And I think that practice really helped solidify my decision to go to South Carolina as well. Because I saw how intense the linebackers practice, how intense the whole team practices really. But I was keyed in on the linebackers for that practice. So I love the drills that they do. And I love Coach Muschamp. So just having the opportunity to be coached by your head coach, you don't get that everywhere.
Definitely. So I know a lot of guys, once they commit, they start turning their attention to maybe some other recruits in the class. Are you going to be a guy, are you more low-key, you're just going to sort of keep to yourself, or do you think you might turn around and start recruiting some other guys to maybe join you at South Carolina?
Honestly, I started recruiting guys to come to South Carolina before I announced on Saturday. I'm working on because Greg Penn goes to the Math, plays linebacker to Math. The Math is only 20, 30 minutes away from where I go to school at. So just us being from the DMV, we have that kind of bond already. I'm working on him. I'm working on defensive lineman Javar Ritchie, another running back from my area in Raleigh named Travion Cooley. And those are just a few of the athletes I'm trying to get to come to South Carolina. So, I'm looking forward to, building this 2021 class up, trying to compete with the best. So
I got you. So let's go away from football, away from recruiting for a minute. If you're not working out and you're not preparing for football, what have you been up to, man? What do you do? What are your hobbies? Are you a video game guy, or what's your away from the field day-to-day look like?
Well, actually, I just finished up Tiger King on Netflix.
What is your review?
Huh?
What's your review of Tiger King?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. Joe Exotic, he's a character. Him and what's her name?
Carol Baskin.
Yeah, Carol Baskin. those are probably my two favorite, on the show. I'm not a big video game guy, but if I were to play video games, it'd be like Call of Duty and 2K and Madden, really. I try to play Fortnite, not very good at it. So I just stick to Netflix, Hulu, and those three video games really.
Okay, so what's next on Netflix? You've got through Tiger King. Is there something else we're binging through next?
Yeah, a lot of people told me that there's a show called The Outer Banks. I'm not sure, what exactly it's about, but a couple of people told me to watch it, and I'm assuming that they're talking about the Outer Banks. It's in North Carolina, so I might just give that a little watch. I'm trying to think of what else. I haven't really, between like working out and schoolwork as well. Like I feel like as soon as we got out of school, my teachers decided to give us more homework rather than laying off a little bit. So between working out and schoolwork, I haven't really had much time to watch Netflix the past couple of days. So
yeah, so this is interesting. I guess maybe people don't even realize what all. I mean, are y'all on Zoom like for your classes as well, or do they just send stuff in email? Or how does that work right now on day-to-day basis?
So it's actually a mix between both. We use WebEx because of we use WebEx in this online database called Canvas that posts all of our homework assignments for all of our classes and everything. So a teacher will send me a document like for history example. I'll read a document a couple pages long, and then I'll have to write like a short response to it as to what I thought, or like he'll ask different questions. I'm also taking poetry right now. So I've had the opportunity to express myself through poetry. I mean, online classes are not ideal, but
Yeah.
it's the only thing we have right now, and I'd say it's a little bit easier than being in school. So,
You don't have any poems you want to share with us, do you?
uh, I'm actually also really bad at poetry. uh, Honestly, I mean, it's a fun course, I'd say,
Uh-huh.
but it's for people. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's a fun course, but it's. I can just tell you right now, it's not for me. It's not.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
So back to football real quick, man. I know you were not able to play this last season. So how much does that sort of drive you and motivate you? What is it going to be like for you as you sort of look forward to getting on that field for your senior year? What is that going to mean to you to suit up and get back out there again, Bryce?
Well, this season right here, it's really my statement season. A lot of people I've noticed have kind of, doubted whether or not, I'll still be as athletic as I was, my sophomore season. I've been working towards that. And I personally feel as though, from an athletic ability standpoint, I'm more like I feel better than I did before my injury and everything like that. So, this season is just, statement season really. Go out there, ball out, and, show people that, I'm back really.
Definitely, man. And finally, do you have a message for maybe the Gamecock fans that might listen to this or see this? You got a message for Gamecock Nation?
I do. I know like the past couple seasons have been pretty rough, but I think that the Gamecocks are making a turn for the best. I think that within the next upcoming years, some really good things are going to come. So,
You heard it there. That is Bryce Steele, brand new Gamecocks commit. Bryce, man, we appreciate the time. Good stuff, and congrats on the commitment, and good luck with your senior year. Okay, man.
thank you for having me.